Hey y'all, it's Michelle from WomenWhoWow.com and TheMichellePippin.com, and I am super excited to be talking with you guys, doing a public live stream, not just for our Women Who Wow members, but for everyone. We now have Women Who Wow members in all 50 states and 8 countries. I am absolutely in love with our sisterhood and camaraderie that we have across the world, really. And but this is for everyone, and this live stream is meant to give women entrepreneurs a little bit of maybe an entrepreneurial shot in the arm, something to boost their confidence, keep them going when things get tough, and also just help women entrepreneurs sort of get over themselves and get to the work of making their dream business their reality. Just so you know, I am not all about just sort of the law of attraction. I much more prefer the law of creation. I do know that to build the business of your dreams, it will take work, it will take commitment, it will take dailiness. And so, you know, I'm not so much into the unicorn sort of thing, but I do know that what's possible for us in business is much greater and much simpler and much more readily available than we might think, right? And so I am one that, you know, born and raised in the South, is sort of like the mindset is, you know, you want to have a good night's sleep, put in a good day's work. And so I've always been about hard work and diligent work and all of that. I still am. However, I realize there are different times when I've made it harder on myself by thinking I had to kind of acquiesce to success rules that frankly weren't serving me and made life kind of miserable. And so now I am all about helping women entrepreneurs create success on their own terms, whatever terms they might be. And so I wanted to talk with you about 7 sort of brutal truths that will help you get over yourself and build the business that you really want. Build the business and the success, the income, the impact, and the influence that you want, all on your own terms, right? I do not believe in building a business one way in order to one day be able to live the way we want to live. I don't believe in that for a couple different reasons. One is I'm not guaranteed tomorrow, and so I'm not going to live today and put off everything that's important to me until tomorrow. And so that's the main reason. But we have so much power in today. And so I want to go over 7 brutal truths that really will help you, inspire you, encourage you when you need encouragement, but also equip you with some strength when you are right on the cusp of success, as I know many of us are. So here we go. So brutal truth number 1, what they think doesn't matter, right? We must have an immunity to criticism if we are to go as far as we should go in our business. The reason is, if we are not inspiring some sort of criticism, that means we're doing things the way everybody else does things. And in business, success rates tell us that the majority of people in business are wrong. When 80% of businesses are failing, then we cannot afford to do things the way everybody else is doing them. So what they think doesn't matter. What your family thinks doesn't matter. What your friends think doesn't matter. You know whose opinion matters? The people who are buying from you. That's whose opinion matters. And so what they think doesn't matter. When you are breaking the rules, you are going to come up against a little bit of people who might be snickering at you, who might be talking behind your back, whatever. What they think doesn't matter. Stay on your course. The number 2 brutal truth is you cannot control the outcome, but you can control your habits. So you can't control the outcome, but you can control your habits, and the habits actually create the outcome. And so a lot of times I feel like we are encouraged, and as I say this, I'm looking at my vision board right there, but we are encouraged to create a vision and move forward with it. We're encouraged to do this and kind of focus on the outcome. And I'm sort of an outcome results thinker as well. But I realize that I can't always control the actual outcome. When I'm journaling about something and I set a goal, I always say, you know, that or something better, right? That or something greater. I kind of want to release that control. But where I do want to exercise control is over my habits. I have become so incredibly convinced and confident that the success of our businesses just falls in the lap of our daily habits and our daily routines, our daily systems. And that's really encouraging to me, because I used to live in this world where I was getting ready to be successful. I was on the cusp of whatever, and I was always kind of almost looking for like my big break. And it was really the daily habits that ended up turning everything into exactly what I wanted to create. So brutal truth number 3 is failure is unavoidable, right? Failure is unavoidable. If you are learning to do something, if you are taking new ground, you are going to stumble, right? When you were learning to walk, or when your child was learning to walk and they fell over and over and over again, you didn't think like, oh man, it's never going to work. They're never going to walk, right? That just never happened. It never occurred to you. And somehow in business, we want to avoid failure. And the brutal truth is it's unavoidable. The truth is we can fail forward and we can fail fast, and we should, because when we're failing, it means that we're taking new ground. When you're taking new ground, it's natural and normal to stumble a little bit. True failure, of course, is only when you give up. So brutal truth number 4, thinking and planning is different than doing. I hate to state the obvious, but just because you know what to do doesn't mean that it's going to transform your business or your income or how much influence you have over your chosen market. Thinking and planning is fun. I love it. My tendency is to get lost in that, not in the details. I'm not a detail person, but my tendency is to get lost in thinking and the planning and the plotting and the dreaming and the scheming. I love that stuff, right? I love it, but it's different than the doing. And so if you are like me and you are a creative spirit and you are loving your business and you're inspired by it, you may find yourself in this little situation where you know to do more than you're actually doing. And I found myself there. I years ago actually set a little rule for myself, because I love to read and I love to learn, especially anything about business or marketing or sales or mindset or any of that. And so I started just holding myself accountable. So for every hour of learning, I would set aside an hour of doing. I actually do this even when I attend different conferences. I won't attend necessarily every single breakout or whatever. I carve out time even when I'm away to make sure that that ratio is what it should be. So the learning and the planning and the thinking and then the doing. Brutal truth number 5 is the only cure for entrepreneurial stress is action, right? The only cure for entrepreneurial stress is action. Entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs, we have a lot of balls in the air. It's a stressful existence sometimes to be at the helm of your own universe, where there is no one to point to and there is no one to blame, and you're singularly responsible for your income and for making sure payroll is met and making sure all the bills are paid, make sure the marketing goes out and that it's right, and everything kind of falls in your lap. And we of course readily accept the stress because we're creating our own reality and we are looking forward to the freedom that being a woman entrepreneur gives us. But the only cure for stress is action. And so you want to make sure that you are we are creators and artists and doers, and so we need to make time for the doing. Brutal truth number 7, and that was my Mima who just called, which is why our video paused. She's going to call right back because she's going to think something went wrong with the phone call. Anyway, brutal truth number 6 is the root of most entrepreneurial angst is one-day thinking. One-day thinking. This has held me back for way longer than I would like to be able to say it held me back. But that one-day thinking of one day I'll get to it, one day I'll get famous, one day I will launch this event, one day I'll launch this membership, one day I'll have time, when I have time, like all of that kind of stuff. And we are creating our future in the power of today. And so we have to get rid of that one-day thinking or that later thinking. One of the phrases that I use all the time and I've used for years is there's something that can be done by you today. That is always the truth. That is always 100% accurate. So no matter what is going on, no matter what angst you might be feeling or what opportunity you're looking at or what you're getting excited about, when you feel overwhelmed, you can ground yourself with this fact. There's something that can be done by you today. Brutal truth number 7, a strong ship can survive any storm. And my dad is a general contractor. He builds houses or remodels or whatever. And one of the things that he's called on most often, he lives down the Outer Banks, and one of the things that he's called on to do most often are to build steps that go into the sand, right? So like that come from your cottage down into the sand, or go from a walkway down onto the beach. And he probably charges triple, I think, what most of his competitors charge to build these steps. And the reason that people line up to pay him for this is because his steps last. Now, I don't know the science behind that. My daddy's a strong man, and everything he builds is strong. It's a representation, it represents him. And so I don't know exactly how he does it, but I do know that most of these steps and walkways in the Outer Banks will be washed out with the first storm, and my dad's will last year after year after year, storm after storm after storm. And so when you think about this with yourself, I want you to know that when you're strong, when you're mentally tough, then you will last. And when you last, you take new ground, and you are able to reach your goals and smash your goals, actually exceed your goals. Mental toughness, your mental toughness determines how you leverage adversity, how you sell, how you present yourself, how you work, how you're showing up in your market, all of this. And I am doing a 30-day immersion experience into mental toughness. This has everything to do with your income, your impact, and your influence. And it is a deep dive into creating that strong ship that can survive any storm. So if you would like more information about that, you can PM me, or you can just go to bmichellepippin.com/mental toughness and find out more about that. But I look forward to seeing you again on another public live stream. If you're not a Women Who Wow member, you got to message me about that, or doors are going to open soon. I will talk with you soon. Bye.